Welcome
to Film Shapes,
the podcast.
All we can do is our best. And sometimes the best that we can do is to start over.
Good morning, guys. Roly, how are you?
I'm pretty well.
And Merv, how are you?
Good, thank you.
This must be about your 7th or 8th run at this, eh?
I'm not 1, 2, 3, 5 or 6, maybe.
He's almost a co-contributor, Roly.
Co-contributor.
Almost.
Yeah.
Let's not
of course.
mention that, though.
Well, he is.
I suppose he is.
Even
yeah.
someone that's done it once, in theory, is a co-contributor.
True, yeah. What are we talking about today?
Avengers Endgame.
That's the one, yeah. It's the big one, isn't it? So this, as many people know, it's the 22nd and maybe final film in the MCU. It's the sequel to Avengers Infinity War, although it's actually like
Can
a part 2.
I stop you right there?
Isn't it? Yeah.
What's it the 11th of then?
What?
You said the 22nd.
Yeah.
It's the 22nd
Film.
I read something about it being the 11th in the series.
Eh?
Possibly just Iron Man,
Avengers
characters.
Oh.
Just that key core group.
This is it gets confusing.
It's tied up, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, are they thinking of the standalone films? Not
Probably.
Okay, right.
But it's also not the last, because we've got Spider-Man coming out soon.
Yeah, that's the end of phase 3, I guess, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this one picks up pretty much soon, a couple of weeks, couple of days, I don't know, right after the end of all the dusting happened in Infinity War.
Well, actually, slightly before the dusting.
Do you think?
Spoiler alert,
Yes.
by the way.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we have to mention that. We're going to blurt everything, aren't we? Yeah. What do you mean before? Slightly before.
Well, with Mr. Is it Barton?
Yes,
Right.
Hawkeye's family.
You're right. That's the very first scene, isn't it?
Yeah. But go on.
Oh, well, no. So it basically then there's a bit of that and it jumps about 5 years, right, to them still in a state of mourning, and then suddenly a fucking rat just runs over something and Ant-Man appears again. That's basically the catalyst, isn't it?
Yeah.
Without explaining all of the shit that happens in this film, we should just get stuck in, eh?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, what do we think?
I'm not decided yet, to be honest.
Well,
I'm going
really?
to wait to see what you guys
Oh,
think.
don't do this. This is like last week.
Then I'm going to be the opposite. No, not really. I want to ask you guys first about what do you think of Jeremy Renner in this role?
In this role or in life?
No, not in life. Just as his role as the superhero in this franchise.
I don't mind him. He's pretty inconsequential, I think. But why? You've got a face on.
I just feel sometimes I don't know. Feels like a guy that's working at a servo or something, rather than a superhero.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he's just meant to be a bit of... He and his kind of Black Widow, just the everyday...
Yeah. Non-superpowered one.
Well, they're proper humans, aren't they?
Yeah, they're problems. They don't have the wealth behind them. It's just
skills.
Their natural talents.
Yeah. He's all right. He's a reasonable actor. He's been bumped by a few franchises. So when he wasn't in Infinity War, I thought it was all happening again. Like, he was in the Mission Impossible series, wasn't he, for a bit?
Yes.
And then he...
2 films?
See you
1 or
later.
2?
Yeah, 1 or 2, yeah.
Well, he was probably doing the Marvel stuff. Didn't have time.
Yeah, there was some clash, yeah. Yeah, he's okay, though. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure I've seen the best of him yet.
I think you have.
Have I?
I know he was pretty good on his breakout film, The Hurt Locker.
The Hurt Locker, yeah. Well, that was his breakout film.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's all right. I mean, someone's got to do it, that role, I suppose.
I enjoyed him in the Mission Impossible films. Anyway, I think we digress.
It was good that he actually had a bit more to do in this. Like, him and Scott Lang, Ant-Man, were marginalised in the first one, but probably with a view to them coming back and having some pretty strong role in this one.
All right, fine. What then did you think about the emasculation of the Hulk here? I found the Hulk very boring in this movie.
I enjoyed it. There was, Professor Hulk is, I guess it was, the whole point of this film was to end those main character stories, and I guess the Hulk coming to a balance of Bruce Banner and, the raging Hulk. He can now exist in harmony. So it's kind of the ending
Yeah.
of his story, that he's now in harmony.
That's the ending of his story. So, and this leads me to another thing I wanted to ask, Merv. Are you a reader of the comics?
No, I'm a DC guy. I've got my Batman T-shirt on.
Have you?
It's under here.
Oh,
Okay.
it's under that. Okay. I don't even know what that is.
No, I don't either. I don't want to
Mighty
ask.
Steelers.
Okay.
Well, hang on, just on the Hulk, it was interesting that in the last film, the Infinity War, which is A of this A and B scenario, he couldn't turn into the Hulk at all. Banner.
That's right. Yeah.
Whereas in this film, he's virtually Hulk all the way through, except
But he's a different kind of Hulk.
yes, a smart Hulk who
He's
speaks.
a smart Hulk that's learned to deal with his darker
So
side.
it was a little weird, I think.
Apparently, this happens in the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Professor
okay.
Hulk. That's where I assume. But then I'm wondering how far, when people are talking about the Avengers in the comic books, are they referring to an Avengers in the comic books of the 1970s, or are there still Avengers comic books
Yeah,
being
it's
written?
still going now, yeah.
You know, where does all this lore that that comes from, that the movies obviously take from?
Yeah.
Where does that originate, and how far is it with the current comic book?
I think that they
The comics and the movies are very, very different. Such as, I think Spider-Man is an African-American kid in the current comic books. I think Captain Marvel is a Muslim girl.
okay.
So they're very diverse.
Really?
Divorced.
But aren't these characters from the earlier comic series
From the
that must
60s.
have started in the 60s, right?
Yeah, but they just choose them as the origin, and then they choose, I suppose, which iteration they're going to go for. Like we'll go for this story from the 80s was pretty cool, and this character from the 2010s was okay.
Yeah,
we'll use it.
yeah.
So,
But when they've taken the Captain Marvel character, for instance, they might have taken that from an earlier version
Yes,
of
yes.
Captain
It's
Marvel.
such as her current look, from understand, is based on, I think, something from the 90s or early 2000s with her haircut and the costume design.
look, there are probably nerds who
Yeah.
can say that part of the story is from this book from 1978, and yet this part is from
1990s.
I was just hoping Merv was going to be able to tell us all.
Unfortunately, I'm just not. Well, for instance, the Hail Hydra joke from Captain America. I think that was a recent one where actually it turns out Captain America was the leader of Hydra.
in one
Because of all
story,
different-
yeah.
within the comic
and
books.
fans weren't happy about that.
Yeah.
You had an evil Captain America, essentially,
Yeah.
I think.
So I think they just take, but I think the movies, Marvel has said the movies are one storyline,
Right.
and the comics are completely, they just keep on going
Yeah,
as
you
they
can-
keep on going.
You can read the comics and you can watch the films. It'd be a bit nuts to try and marry the two, I think.
Yeah, they don't bother.
You're just going to get even more confused, though, aren't you?
Probably.
If you do that.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. I don't know.
It depends how big your brain is.
And what about the Captain having control of Thor's hammer in this one?
Well, that was pretty cool.
was-
That got
that
a
was
little
kind of-
whoop
yeah.
whoop from the audience, I suppose, didn't it?
Yeah. Because there was that earlier movie in the Avengers where he almost was able to pick up the hammer.
Yeah. And that sort of hints that somebody suggests online, and this is where we're going to go to a lot, that he could have done it, and he actually didn't, to save face with Thor. He didn't want to embarrass Thor. And that's why Thor said, I knew it. I knew he could do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Let's be
I
honest.
thought it was a little bit, come on, he's picked up the hammer. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This whole film is basically a bunch of Easter eggs and
Yeah.
Massive fan
references.
service.
Yeah, massive fan service.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's done a really good job of actually tying little threads.
Yes.
It's actually, you sometimes get those films later on where they just completely change things. But they've gone back and they've linked to just little moments all through the films, which is pretty impressive.
It's a triumph of the writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The same writers have written a bunch of these films, and the directors, Russo brothers.
Yeah.
I think they've done about 4 or 5 now, so they kind of know where they're going. And Kevin Feige, the producer of Marvel Cinemas, is he the producer or CEO or something?
No, he's a producer.
He sort of ties it all together. It's all in his sort of brain, I'd imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just, all just little things. Though, the fact that Captain America snogs. I mean, one little theory is he's actually potentially the father of
Take it easy.
Peggy Carter's. Well, when he goes
Niece.
back.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, snogs a niece, but he's also, That was a little bit dodgy.
Hang on, I'm lost. No.
Oh, don't even start with the time travel shit just yet.
No, but who's he potentially the father of?
Peggy Carter.
Peggy Carter's niece.
No, not the
Sharon
niece.
Carter.
Her children.
Who's Peggy Carter?
That's
the
girl that he danced with in
the end.
His girlfriend from the first Avenger.
Oh, what? There's some incestuous thing going on.
No, it's time travel incest, if anything.
Yeah, well, that's still incest, isn't it?
It's time travel.
Oh, that's all right with you, is it?
Yeah, sure. It wipes. It wipes the floor. It clears the slate, or whatever I'm trying to say.
I'm sure I'm just not understanding something correctly.
No,
That's all right.
I don't even.
Well, as I said, you go back through the films and he snogs the niece of Peggy Carter.
I think that's Sharon Carter.
Carter, yeah. And then in this film, he goes back and he travels back and lives with Peggy, and that's his end, which I thought was a really nice end for Captain America. You know, the guy who was a reluctant leader. He was the reluctant hero in a way. And finally, his one wish was to actually just lead a normal life. And he actually goes back and gets to do that. And I thought, a nice way to end the Captain America story.
Yeah.
I did. I have a bit of an issue with that ending.
That was where you were crying, wasn't it?
Fuck off. It wasn't. That's where I was going, I'm not. Yeah. I didn't. Sure, fine, that's a good way to end his story, but the very end of the film is them dancing? I mean, is that a way to end it? I don't know.
I agree with you, actually. I think that's a little bit of a kind of... It doesn't do justice to the rest of the story.
Parazad, as you know, has sat in the chair that Merv's in right now a few times. She did mention that it was a little bit like the Return of the King. Is that the last Lord of the Rings film?
Oh, okay.
Where the film finishes and then they've got 30 minutes of endings.
Oh, God, yeah.
You know? It was almost there, but I don't think it got quite to that level.
I agree with you on your amazing blog that you wrote about this film. 3 hours flew by, didn't it?
Okay. Yeah, you got that sentence out of the 5 or 6. Look, like I said, I didn't want to write too much because we're all going to thrash it out here. Yeah. There's lots of spoily things to do. So, that ending didn't feel like a proper ending to the whole saga. That means you're focusing on Captain America, and I don't thought, he's the first Avenger, sure, but not the most interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole series, the whole Avengers, really, I mean, the focus is Iron Man. Starts with Iron Man.
Yeah, true.
And ends with the death of Iron Man. I think, and because that was the main... I mean, if you had Black Widow, that was the only death I didn't see coming. If I was laying money, you're at evens for Iron Man. He was my pick. He was the bloke who was going to die.
Yeah.
That didn't come as a surprise.
Captain America, just got to look at the oldest cast members, really, don't you?
Also the one who cost them the most.
Maybe. And the ones who haven't signed on again, probably.
Yeah. So, but Captain America, I think... He'd already died once. He'd already sacrificed himself once. Yeah. And I think to do it again...
They had to end their stories, and that was quite neat. I don't know. Maybe in total, I really like this film, but I think I preferred Infinity War.
I think Infinity War was a better film.
Okay.
From in terms of getting me excited about a film and watching a film that...
such an uncommon ending where the villain wins and everybody's devastated. I don't know, maybe I'm a bit miserable, but that was great.
But you knew it was part one. You knew it was part two.
Thanos was a more interesting character in Infinity War as well. He kind of collapsed into 2 dimensions a bit more in this one.
Well, but that's because he was at the start.
Finished.
He's I mean, he hasn't developed. He hasn't had the powers. He's kind of still just a raging, angry bloke.
Do you mean before he got before Thor did his head? Or you mean when he came back as the past Thanos?
Well, just overall in this film, he was a less interesting character that was both good and evil.
But that's right.
Whereas before
he's still planning it.
Yeah, he still is coming together with that. What he wants to do.
All that shit in the middle was very neat. Like the fact that, they've come back and suddenly, now, because of Nebula's brain, they've somehow found out there's been a link between past and present. Confusing. But
Time
heist, good fun.
It allows you to just dive into it and be part of it without questioning. I think that
I did like the fact they went, time travel? No one really knows. There's all this other stuff. Who cares? We're just going to do stuff. deal with it.
Yeah, they put a stop to that
Yeah.
trope
Yeah.
straight away.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah.
going to stop that idea in its tracks, and it's not going to work like that. So you don't have to worry about anything.
Well,
and that
didn't-
allowed them to do all these other things.
But they did say, just don't go near yourself in the past. And suddenly, of course, Captain America's fighting himself.
Yeah.
And, so
and commenting on his ass.
yeah, yes, and with the one Nebula kills another. I can't remember which one killed her, but present present Nebula killed the past Nebula, right? And that didn't immediately destroy her.
No, but that was the whole point.
Yes, which
Yeah,
meant-
they just kind of said it's different. It's what happens.
Yeah, that's right. There's no crossing over of timelines and things. It's a new thing, so that's why you had to take the stones back,
Yes.
presumably. Yeah.
I can bring back, you know the joke about the superhero that loved to work out?
No.
He's Thor. He's Thor.
What?
Listen back to it later, maybe.
He's Thor.
Thor. He's Thor.
As in Saw.
Yeah.
Because he's... Oh, shit.
Anyway, I was just trying to get it back to Thor for a minute. What did you think of Thor?
Right.
And
well, I like the fact that Stark calls him Lebowski at one point. Did you notice this?
Oh, that
That's
annoyed me,
fantastic.
actually.
Why?
Because it was obvious.
it was obvious.
Yeah, it was like he's channeling the dude. And then when Tony Stark goes, what are you, the dude or something?
Listen,
I
how
just
many...
thought,
What's the crossover? What's the Venn
wouldn't-
diagram of people who love Marvel and people who love the Coens?
but why mention
yeah.
it? Why mention it? Because
I
if
wouldn't
you
be
didn't-
surprised
yeah.
if that was not in the original script
Yeah.
and that was a little
Yeah, but
piece of ad-lib.
but Stark also calls the raccoon a few things, and I didn't know what they are because they're American things, right? Or they're kids' cartoon things or something, right? I didn't understand those. So whatever, I don't mind that. But if there's something you know and you pick it up, did he just call him Lebowski? It's great.
Yeah, but it was obvious.
For you, maybe, not for teenagers.
But
Yeah.
it's okay, they call him the dude. If they don't know what he's channeling, then what does saying the dude actually do?
Did they call him the dude? No, just the Lebowski. I think that was the only
I thought
time
it
he
was the
said.
dude. Yeah,
No, he
it's
said
just
it.
the one he walks past. But I just kind of went,
Yeah.
well, come on, give your audience a brain.
No, I disagree. I think that was a good little note to use. A good little reference, anyway. It's a pretty niche reference. It's not obvious. It's obvious to you and me, and maybe to Roly.
Well,
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. Well, no, yes, but I don't remember what part of the film that was in.
Okay. It was the preparation.
I think it went
yeah.
over and it just went boom.
And curiously, Lebowski's played by Jeff Bridges, who was the first villain in
course.
Iron Man.
Well, there's always connections.
It's almost as though actors actually do jobs and get paid for them in different films.
Yeah, well, I wonder what, because some of the actors did come back for, really
lots
cameos.
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah,
Yep.
Michael Douglas,
few
Michael
seconds.
Douglas.
Robert Redford, who's supposed to be retired, he pops up again. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you think
Stanley.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Do you think Natalie Portman came back, or
Nope.
would they just use her old footage?
That was old footage.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
But was it actual footage from the Dark World, or was it
Yeah.
B-roll?
Do you say
or
that
something?
because you know,
B-roll.
or you just don't think she would come back?
One, I don't think she'd come back. Two, she never says actually anything.
Yes, yeah.
And the only character she interacts with is a digital character.
Yeah,
the
so they-
raccoon.
yeah.
So,
I got a feeling that she hadn't done any more.
yeah.
But yeah, she did fall out, I think, with the studios over something. So
Yeah, I think there was a bit of a... She wasn't quite happy, so...
yeah,
For that, I don't see why she'd come back.
yeah. I quite enjoyed the meeting of Tilda Swinton and the Hulk when he went back to New York from Doctor Strange.
Is that the ancient one?
Yes.
The
Is that
ancient
her?
one, yeah, I like her. Yeah, she was good, and that sort of I like the fact that she was all knowing, and then suddenly, when Hulk says, "Well, Strange gave it to us," and she's like, "Oh, maybe I'm wrong." Oh, here you go then.
Well, why didn't you just say that in the beginning,
Yes.
Hulk?
Yeah, we wouldn't have had all this, but yeah, and that sort of, I guess some people, and this is another thing, Merv, you're saying that they've tied everything together. Some people probably were suggesting, why weren't the sorcerers doing anything during that invasion? Actually, she was.
Yeah.
But it shows you her doing some stuff, which is off screen from the original Avengers film. So neat.
Yeah.
Okay. Ant-Man. What about Ant-Man?
Okay, this is a strange one. Don't like his films, but like him as a character in these films. That's my theory on him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't, the films, no thanks. But actually, him as a character in an ensemble, he brings a bit of levity That's the moment I cried first.
What?
Yeah, when he's meeting his older daughter.
Okay.
When he goes back to his daughter's house and she's
all right. Yeah, yep.
grown up. Yeah.
Yep.
That gave me a bit of a blub. I'm not, I wasn't needing tissues or anything. I was just weeping slightly. Yeah. Why are you giggling? You had a blub or two, didn't you?
In this, no, I didn't.
Okay. Merv?
No.
Even at the end there when Tony died, I think the big moment for me was when the other Avengers returned, when the Avengers first returned for the big battle scene at the end, which I thought was really well done.
Out of the portals that Doctor Strange. Yeah.
That was like fist pump. I'm sure you did the same.
No.
In the cinema. Yeah, like that.
No,
No, didn't like it?
I liked it, but it was going to happen sometime. And here's what a slight problem with that ending. When the Hulk does the snap and they're wondering, is it working? Did he bring everyone back? And how do we find out someone's come back? Phone ringing, mobile phone vibrating on the table. Hawkeye's wife. A little bit of a wet blanket, that sort of surprise, wasn't it?
Well,
it worked.
maybe.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
And the birds.
The birds, yeah, that's right. Someone's looking out the window.
Yeah.
Was it Ant-Man looking out the window?
Yeah.
And, the birds have come back. Yeah. Oh, good point, yeah. Fluttering birds. At that point, though, that was quite, hey, look, I think everyone's back, and suddenly there's the attack from Thanos.
Yeah.
That started well, I think, yeah. So maybe it had to be low-key for that
For
moment,
that moment
to
to work.
interrupt it. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, that was quite a good scene there, though. I don't know. The final, we knew they were coming back. Sam says, "On your left," which is a throwback to a Captain America film.
I think so. Yeah,
where America's running past him, and he says, "On your left," or "To your left," or something like that. So that's a nice little return.
It feels to me like if Captain Marvel wasn't so busy, this could have all been sorted out much earlier.
Here's the thing, there's a school of thought that says you've got to keep her away, you've got to keep Hulk away. He didn't fight anybody in the last bit, really, did he?
No, why do you have to keep Hulk away?
Because
though?
he's too strong. He's almost like like Marvel's the Deus Ex Machina in this film, and he was in the last one.
But he got finished by Thanos at the beginning of the last. For who he wasn't stronger than Thanos.
But he didn't. He got PTSD, right, in that first film.
Thanos had the stones.
But that was as a result. Oh, he had the stones.
He had some of the stones.
There's a good point. Yeah,
he had some stones.
Yes.
So the writers are thinking, how do we keep the strongest ones away from all the action so we can have an actual film going? And that's why Marvel. I've got other stuff to do. I'm off.
There's lots of planets.
Lots of planets, and you guys.
But there's only one that Thanos is hanging out at.
Right.
Maybe this should be a little higher on the. But we don't understand.
Then
we just don't understand.
Then you got a 30-minute movie there. She comes in and just kicks ass and
does her fly through the ship thing.
Yeah, it was a bit. I thought this film was going to have two main things. One, farewell to the original Avengers.
Yeah.
But then launch the new ones.
Yeah.
And I just found, considering you had she gets called at the end of Infinity Wars. Mm-hmm. Then at the end of her own movie, it has her appearing. But her main job is save Tony.
Yes.
Fly through the building.
Mm-hmm. Then fly through the ship.
Then get punched.
The ship, right.
Fly through the ship, then get punched.
She had a little tete-a-tete with Thanos, didn't she?
It was just... I mean, she's meant to be probably the next leader. Kind of, that next... Yeah. She's there to replace Hulk, as you said, and probably Thor in a way.
And Captain America, I guess. Yeah.
But, I mean, who are the next?
But because she's too strong and too highly powered.
But it still took the bloke in the suit to save the world.
Yeah. I don't know. I did have to marginalise her a bit. Otherwise, it's over too quickly.
Yeah, she could have easily put the glove on when you think of it, because she's got the power of the stones flowing through her, doesn't she? Yeah. So she could have just done the snap.
Right.
That I found a little bit annoying.
The snapping again.
Finger snap?
Yeah, well, everything else, whenever you saw Thanos do anything with the glove, it just happened. It was his pure will. But to do the other thing, you had to snap your fingers.
Well, it was a little
mechanical.
Thanos never did the finger snap.
I can't remember
I can't remember either.
Which one?
in Infinity
In
Wars.
Infinity War.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
And then everyone had to
So
snap
that's
their-
where it originated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just seemed a bit...
He snapped in this one too, but he had all the
well, they all
stones were
snapped.
gone.
The obvious reference is the Fonz, you know. You remember he would snap and all the girls would just come and...
Yeah, so Thanos is in Happy Days, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
you can see why...
I just want to move away from that
Okay,
reference
never
as soon as
forget it.
possible.
You can't shake
I
it
can't
now.
shake it now. I've forgotten what I was going to say. No, okay. The Captain Marvel... Stop, Merv. Stop laughing. The Captain Marvel thing also, another thing that doesn't sit right. Do you remember in the Infinity War, I think it was Black Widow, Okoye, and one other female character? I can't remember. One of them was getting smashed, and this evil Thanos woman said, where are your friends now, or some shit like that. And two of them turned up and said, she's not alone. And
yeah,
kicked her
Scarlet
ass.
Witch. And,
Scarlet Witch, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. That seemed quite neat in that film. I thought, that's good. Bringing a couple of the female characters together organically. Mm-hmm. In this film, it brings, 12 or 15 together at once and says the same line.
Is it the same line? Is it? Oh, you're talking about that
alone.
girl power moment?
But also, okay, firstly, it just didn't seem logical. They wouldn't all necessarily be on the same point in the battlefield at that time. They'd be doing other stuff, hopefully. It's like a roll call moment. Secondly, she's not alone. Even if she was alone, she can fucking do this. She's Captain Marvel. She can do whatever she likes.
Hang on, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't the person being referred to the Spider Boy in this one?
She picked it up off him.
They came and sort of...
Yes, he was
him out because
he was a bit buggered. And then she said, "Give it to me, Spidey boy. I'll take it." And he said, "Are you sure you can do this on your own or something?" And then all the other women turn up and say, "She's not on her. She's not alone. We're here behind her." And A, she didn't need them. B, it's just... It seems like Marvel said, we're getting a bit of shit for the way we treat women. Let's try
It was very conspicuous, that. And
Yeah.
that, I think the fact that I noticed it. But then people would turn around and say, well, you don't have a problem if a bunch of guys get together and do the same thing. But, I can't...
But that would happen naturally, I think. This didn't... In the first film, it was a nice... It worked in the plot, and it was a nice little... empowering moment. In this one, it was well over the top, and it seemed like an excuse.
Maybe if they'd taken the glove out of the hands of one of the more powerful male characters, like they picked the weakest.
He's not weak, is he?
Little Spider Boy.
Oh, I suppose. Yeah,
stronger
It's
than
just
a
a
horse.
boy. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it just seemed like they were using it as a look. We can do. Look what we've done. Yeah, sure. DC can do Wonder Woman.
10 of
and
us
shit, but look.
can at least do what this little Spider Boy could do.
Yeah, but no, I think it's the studio's decision. No, I just think. Oh yeah,
I feel like even then they didn't really give it everything. I don't know.
On that note, there are some people online and on other pods, I think, thinking about this fridging thing that happened in Deadpool and has happened in many, many other films about fridging Black Widow.
Hang on. Explain.
Fridging?
Oh, no. Well, as soon as they went there, you knew she was one because it was what wins, family
Yeah.
or the single childless character?
Assassin, yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on. Hang on.
No, that wasn't fridging.
What's fridging?
Fridging occurred in a comic book with the Green Lantern where his girlfriend was cut up and put in a fridge. Right.
What?
So, and that served purely to motivate that guy and make him sad and make him driven to do shit to the baddies.
Okay, so it's when
a female
when they take a
character-
female character do
Yeah.
something really bad to her,
Yes.
so that it
affects a
the
dude.
drive of the male character.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Fridging. Okay.
But this didn't affect the drive of anyone. It was a loss of a team member.
It made everybody quite sad.
Yes.
It affected
as
them in
would.
that way. Yeah.
Yes, as it would. But it wasn't a motivator or it wasn't anything else. I think this was a case because they were both willing to sacrifice each other. Not each other, sacrifice themselves. But she pushed because, no, you've got a family to save.
Yeah, so it was her sacrifice, right? Yeah, but
Yeah, I think that's the difference. She chose to do it. She's a hero. She's a superhero.
Yeah, but she's not the writer.
But it's the fact that she's
the dudes writing it decided, let's kill her off.
Again, because you start with Hawkeye losing his family.
Yeah.
You need that whole storyline to go. No,
I'm still 50-50 on this. I wanted Hawkeye to go over because I don't really care for the dude. I'd rather see Black Widow surviving.
Well, she's got
this is
another
my
film.
question. This is my original thing. Maybe Renner should have gone.
Right. Yeah.
But he had a family. And I think that's more.
That makes sense, I suppose, in that sense.
Yeah.
Oh, that cuts even more, though. It's like...
Right, if he goes
In
over and
some
his family
ways,
are dead,
yeah.
It would be a bit more Game of Thrones-ish, wouldn't it, in that
Fridge
case?
the childless woman.
Yeah.
But she's
as being
she's got a strong relationship with that family. It's also just as much her family because
True,
those two
yeah.
do have a very close relationship, which is built all through the films.
Yeah.
And
But
and they love each other as friends.
Yeah.
It's that close. And I think she sacrifices herself for that family, her family as much as any. I think they are her
the
family
Avengers
as well,
family and Hawkeye's family.
and Hawkeye's family. No, I think that's
There is apparently going to be a Black Widow film, standalone film.
Yeah.
But she's already
Prequel.
She's
bought
gone,
the
right?
bullet, right? So it's prequel.
she's never had an origin story.
It's an origin story,
okay.
but
There's
people
going to
are
be some
wondering.
de-aging in that.
Will it be Scarlet? Does
don't
it
know.
does it have to be Scarlet?
I think it should
I think it is
be.
her.
It has to be. Yeah, she's signing on, I think. But
Yep.
do we care? Because we know that she's already dead in reality.
Well, I think that's. I mean, one thing about this film is really most of the other. From now on, the best thing about watching this film, I no longer really have to care.
Yeah.
All this new stuff that's going to be coming out, meh.
No, you're not going to be signing up for the Phase 4?
I mean, most of the characters. I mean, Spider-Man, I enjoyed his film. And
Okay.
I'll definitely go watch that. The Scarlet Witch and Vision series, which Disney's going to be making.
Oh, that's a mistake, surely.
Yeah, don't care. I'll watch the Loki one because it's Tom
yeah.
Hiddleston. They're doing a TV series
Is it?
apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
so Loki. That's why he survived. So we can pop him into
In
his,
another time stream, yeah.
Yeah, so he's got his series. But what's coming up? If there's another Thor film, I'll watch that because he's one of the original guys. And Chris Hemsworth.
Well, he's in the Guardians, so that'll be a Thor Guardians bit.
Not necessarily.
crossover. Well, he's in that fucking ship. He's going to be
Yes.
with them.
He might not be in it for very long.
But it's
I imagine he
different
will
directors. I think he's Chris Hemsworth. I think is very much sticking with Thor because as long as
Taika Waititi. Okay.
is involved, where
It's gone back to Sean. Is it Gunn?
Gunn, yeah.
James Gunn.
James Gunn.
Yeah.
so those two continuing franchises. But I said they bring out a.
Well, there's a Black Panther coming out as well. Again, another number
yeah.
2. Yeah.
But he's such a boring character. All the characters around him are interesting.
Yeah,
but
that's
he
true. That's the
himself
point,
is
yeah.
so dull.
Yeah, I preferred his
His
sister
bodyguard,
was
his
smart.
sister,
His
and
bodyguard. Yeah.
I don't think his kind of girlfriend.
Lupita Nyong'o from Us, which we talked about last time. She's good. Yeah, she wasn't in this, I don't think.
No,
well, maybe it's an opportunity to get deeper into that character as well.
Yeah. Yep.
And he might be less boring after that.
I'll get over his
I
daddy issues.
don't think he's that boring anyway.
Black Panther. He's
was
just
boring.
very straight, isn't
he's
he?
very straight.
Yeah.
He's a bit like Captain America. He's the inverse
Yeah,
of
well,
Captain
he
America.
was never my favourite
you know,
character.
No.
Very polite.
Just going back to this Soul Stone thing. Do you think it needed a repeat? Because that was how Gamora died in in Infinity War
Well, it had to be repeated.
to get the stone.
Yeah, it had to be.
Was that nowhere else? That Soul Stone?
I'm sure the
No.
writers could have come up
Couldn't
with something
they?
else, Merv. I mean, they can do what they want.
They can do what they want, yes, but as I said, they had to be more than one hero dying. I think you had to make sure you got finished this original Avengers.
Yeah, it was a sad moment.
Yeah.
That was another tear sort of welling moment when
Welling.
Welling.
It's welling now. Okay.
It was welling. That's all it was. It
So
wasn't,
it was
bawling
just
your eyes
welling.
out,
It wasn't
wasn't
even tears.
it wasn't even.
It was just
wasn't
welling.
dripping. Yeah.
You said people telling you to be quiet, stop crying.
Shut up.
Shit's going, woo!
Yeah. Oh well. I think. Hang on. I've got another couple of questions, guys. I think we've pretty much covered what I was going to ask. The time travel thing. Do you think that was neatly done? The whole in total.
Time travel's never neat.
You would have to go back through it and to find faults.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure
so
you
somebody,
could.
for
but-
example, when he's on Asgard, Thor, seeing his mum, and they get that sort of liquidy thing that's inside Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
And Rocket extracts it.
Yeah.
Just before Thor takes off, he calls for his hammer.
Yeah.
Does that mean the hammer's not there? So when the Dark Elves come, Thor doesn't have his hammer, the Thor from that film, because, Lebowski Thor has taken it back to the future.
Oh.
So he's hammerless. Means he can't do
So the hammer's been taken out of that time.
Yeah, but then again, so has
maybe
that
he takes
stone.
it back. Yeah, maybe he takes it back.
Well, but he hasn't. Oh, I see. Oh, fuck.
But hang on. Oh.
But the stone is gone anyway,
But
so maybe the Dark Elves get there and go,
all out
let's
anyway?
take off.
How does that...
They-
No, it doesn't
but they
cancel
take-
it out. No.
They take it back. The whole point is they return all the stones.
Stones, yeah. So the
which will
Dark
include
Elves...
that. So poor Natalie gets injected back in.
Right. But then there's the hammer is still there at the end of this film, so Thor is hammerless in the
No, he's
Dark
got his
World.
new one. I think
He's got his big axe.
He's got both, hasn't he?
Where he's given one to Captain America.
Did Captain
maybe
America take the hammer
Oh,
back?
maybe not.
Maybe he took the hammer back.
I can't
When
remember.
I can't. Okay.
I didn't mind that scene. You take the little one.
Yeah.
Which was Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah. I mean, that whole battle. I don't know. I think the light brigade arriving kind of thing was a bit. How can you do it? How else can you do it? I don't know. I think we'd seen it before. Like the battle scene.
Yeah,
the battle scene in Wakanda, I think, was better than this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did find this repetitive.
Yeah.
I got another massive battle and another giant dusting.
Yeah, that's true.
And Captain Marvel flies through another spaceship to destroy it. It was
Yeah.
a little... That I felt was a little repetitive. But as you said, what other grand moment are you
can
going to
we do,
have
yeah.
to bring all these characters back?
Just regarding this dusting, when Stark snapped his finger for that, did he, in his mind, say all of Thanos' goons and Thanos dust? Or did he say anyone who's not from this time era goes?
Or did he just go,
No.
sort it out as
Just,
I would like it if I
yeah.
really had time to think about it?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was just... Because otherwise Gamora would be dusted.
Well, but she's not there, right? Because Quill's looking for her at the end of the...
Which implies she's still alive.
She might be yeah, but is it? No, but it's the one from the past
Yeah.
that's still alive.
Yes,
Yeah.
the one from the past.
But yeah.
Who gave him a good kicking.
Yeah.
That was quite a good line when he's on the floor. The first one you missed both. The second one you got him.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's if you think about that too hard, you might have an aneurysm.
As I said, I think
Which is the way it should be,
Yeah.
right?
they
Yeah.
set it up in the sense, the whole time travel and all that. It was just like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
travel's
yeah.
time travel. Just go with the flow.
Yeah. I that was enjoyable, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
So in total, I think I liked this quite a bit. It's quite a good ending for this saga. Just a few little moments that I thought were,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I enjoyed it. I said you didn't notice it was 3 hours and 2 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
It zipped along. Mm-hmm. It kept you entertained.
Yeah.
And my main feeling at the end of it was relief.
Relief.
Just relief. It's done.
Yeah. Yeah. Rolly?
Was I being stupid and naive to be sitting in the cinema at the end just to see if there was going to be any
No, I did
After-
it. I did it.
I did it.
after sequences?
But yes, we're all stupid and naive.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But there was
And there
was
was
something.
nothing.
There was something.
There was the sting.
There were 3 hammer blows, which was Iron Man bashing his suit in the
okay,
original
yeah,
Iron Man.
okay.
But if you're waiting around for that,
Yeah.
fuck, you got to get a life. You know?
Yeah.
Get
Again,
alive.
which is what
all of us
we all
really
need to.
get alive. But no, I got my money's worth.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Can I have my quibble now?
Yes, go. What's your quibble?
The economics of what happened in this film.
Okay.
This is my one, and the very beginning site kind of sets up a little bit. But I went to a presentation the other day, and they told me it takes about 30% of a population to cause social collapse within that group. So they've wiped out 50%. And they kind of show in the beginning this world in desolation. There's massive, deserted areas.
Yeah, lots of ships around
Yeah,
the
the
Great
deserted
Liberty
parks.
statue. Yeah.
But Audi still seems to be popping out nice, flash new cars. That was my first little annoying.
Okay.
But this is where actually the true evil person in this movie is Iron Man, is the Avengers.
Okay.
When they bring 50% of the world back, 50% of the population back into an economically crumbling, recession, depressed, where are these people going to live? Have they maintained infrastructure?
The buildings are still there. I mean, it hasn't...
Do they still own them? It's been 5 years.
Well, I would say they would still own them.
That's a good point.
No, 5 years, developers, but, they're abandoned. Do they still have electricity? Do they still have sewage?
Well, obviously the people that are there still have electricity and sewage and gas and water.
But would they have all kind of moved into smaller areas that can be maintained? Because you don't have the...
Possibly.
And where's all the food coming from? So you suddenly bring back 50% of these people. This world is not ready. I'm saying it's caused economic and social collapse. It's anarchy. It's chaos. He's caused the destruction of the universe.
Sure.
Well, that's maybe something Phase 4 will deal with. Perhaps.
It doesn't.
I would just check. I just wouldn't hold on too tightly to that 30% versus 50% number, though, because it's not really exact science, is it? And, you've got...
Oh, the 30% is modelling. It's... no, that's actual... I said this was a couple of...
But you can't test it, is what you're saying.
No, you can't. And it depends on many factors.
It has been... I said, I'm getting into it. I'll tell you about that later. But anyway, I just kind of looked at it at the end and we're like, it's chaos and it's destruction. It's how does a world that's lost 50% suddenly get 50% back? How is it going to...
But that's why...
What percentage of a population went to war in World War One, for instance?
Yeah, they lost
a huge percentage of
Europeans,
the population.
Yeah. Even not really.
It would have been quite... I'm not sure of the numbers, but it was a huge percentage of certainly the male population.
The Black
Not
Plague
necessarily that went away
much.
and died, but that went away for 5 years and then came back as well.
At the end of World War One,
that's a good... It's probably a good little example. But we can look that up and argue.
Recession occurred in Australia. There was massive famines all through Europe. It was only because America basically gave millions and millions of dollars and food that Europe even survived.
Yeah, all stuff that's kind of hard to model.
Yeah, look, I mean, but
that's my quibble.
I suppose if they had brought them back weeks after, then this wouldn't be happening. But 5 years, that's a long time.
People have moved on, remarried, older. All the Peter Parker rocks up to school.
There's a whole TV series here.
Half his friends would be 5 years older.
Yeah, that's a point. That mate wasn't 5 years older, was he, when he saw him at the end?
No, it seemed to be the 50% seemed to be very statistically loaded against characters in this film. Yeah. I mean, how unlucky are you to lose, one family lose, 3 members of 4.
The Hawkeye lost 4 members of his family, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, that's bad luck. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, that's maybe why Thanos was right in doing what he did in Infinity War.
Get rid of them.
Get rid of 50% and everything will be hunky-dory.
I think the start a whole new universe plan...
He went a little bit further with that one, didn't he? Yeah.
Because he thought people would let go, but they didn't.
Just one more thing on that. Do you think his underlings knew his rejigged plan? Like getting rid of everybody.
I think, but he was jamming on the fly with that one.
You think so?
Yeah. He was coming. Because
if they, what are you doing there, boss? Whoa, really? Just a minute.
I'm not sure he was workshopping.
Can we just have a word
with the guys?
Yeah. I suppose he's a dictator, isn't he? So that's what he likes.
I think so.
But they'd all drunk the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that's true. They were on his platform, weren't they?
And it was only really his generals who actually were proper sentient.
The others were just spider dogs or whatever the fuck they were.
Probably built in vats or something or made in the lab and just pumped out.
Yeah. Yeah, we seem to have gone quite a long time, haven't we, Rolly? We probably should cut it here, I reckon. That's what a
Make the call, leader.
Let's go. Do I have to snap my fingers?
I think you should. Ready?